If you're running a blog in 2026 and you're not using AI, you're leaving money on the table. But here's the thing, most people are using AI wrong for blogging and their content ends up sounding robotic or just off. Today, I've got Ryan Robinson with me. He's the founder of RightBlogger, which is trusted by over 50,000 marketers and content creators. And this guy teaches 500,000 people a month how to build profitable online businesses. So he's going to show us exactly how he uses AI in his actual blogging workflow. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for having me. This is going to be a fun one.
Oh my goodness, we're so excited because like everything these days is just like video content, like blogging, Substack, emails, all the things, content creators. I don't know where blogging is even at anymore. And I'm pretty sure it's evolved past the recipe websites. So thank you for being here. And can you tell us what we're going to learn today?
Yes, for sure. I'm going to walk you through my auto blogging process and what exactly I do to still get an ROI from broad blog content across multiple sites and with a ton of clients that hire me to do this for them. It's going to be super fun. I plan on being very tactical too. Like, let's show our screen, do real things together, and let's answer questions on the fly as they come up too.
Yay! I love this. Thank you. Firstly, can you start by giving us an overview of what blogging actually looks like in 2026? Is it video? Is it written? What is it?
Blogging is still content focused, right? And I'm being particularly dodgy on that answer because that can look like a lot of different things. Now, what I will tell you is working most effectively is a video first content strategy. And so we'll show in our session here today, but I create videos as the foundation of everything I'm publishing about nowadays. And I use smart AI tools and workflows to turn those videos into SEO optimized content that still gets published to my blog and drives traffic today because you can't really get around the fact that the internet functions as a text based system for understanding what a website is about. And so that is still super important as far as SEO goes today. You need blog posts in order to teach search engines and the newer AI platforms who you are, what you're good at, how you can best help people. And so I like to do two birds with one stone because I want to save time, energy, and effort at every turn I can. So to me, it looks like making videos, turning those videos into blog posts, and then we do some other fun stuff too around content automations just to keep steady stream of content publishing to our sites.
Yay, exciting. I'm super excited about this. I'm interested to see how you do this because I'm guessing you're not just hand rewriting your actual videos. So I can't wait to see this. And yeah, can we just dive right into your flow?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I've got my screen up here where I've got Right Blogger pulled up. And to everyone watching here today, I want you to know that you can come here to rightblogger.com, sign up for a free account, and test everything that we're going to be showing here. We really make our free plan accessible to everyone to figure out whether this is going to be useful in your process, whatever that may look like. So that's the only plug here. Let's get that out of the way. And now we can dive into the really good stuff. And, I think Simone, like my favorite thing here to focus on that's super important here is what we just talked about, a video first content strategy. And I'll get into a little more of the content automation-y stuff in a bit, but this is meeting a lot of people where they should be at today. And to give you a little glimpse of how I kick off my process, this is my YouTube channel where I publish at least a few videos a week. And create videos that are teaching my audience of how to build an online business. I do a lot of breakdowns of how different startups are effectively marketing their businesses today. I teach tactical stuff. I have quick videos that are simple problem solution style content. But the most important thing about these AI platforms like ChatGPT and traditional Google search engine algorithms is that they don't necessarily notice and understand that, oh, Ryan published a video to his YouTube channel. We should probably rank that at the top of search results. And so the smart thing to do today is to repurpose every video you're making into an SEO optimized blog post that can live on your website. It can have your post embedded in it, and it'll look something like this when it goes live. I've got a version of that right here on my blog, and you can see here that using RightBlogger's video to blog tool, I have an automation set up that basically does this all behind the scenes for me. I don't do anything anymore because I set this system up and I have an automation running at all times here. And there's a lot of different things going on my screen, I know, but here's kind of a glimpse of what the content planner looks like inside Right Blogger. And in here, some of these posts that have been published to my site began as videos on my YouTube channel. And so there's an automation that scrapes my YouTube channel every day, creates one of these blog posts, uses an SEO report to optimize it for the keyword phrase, and then it automatically sends it to my site. And it eventually looks like something like this right here.
And that's automatic.
It's all automatic. It's a literally like set it up once, let it run type of system. And we have two main types of automations that I like using best. And here's what those look like. I've got a daily YouTube automation running, and then I've got a keyword based automation running. And so that's kind of the second one. But if you want to talk a little more in depth about what's going on with the video based automations, if you're interested in lingering on that one before we kind of divert to the keyword automations. The video one is like by far our most popular one because we have a lot of creators that make the video and then they're like, okay, well, I kind of did what I wanted to do on that topic. I don't want to write a blog post about it. I don't want to take a transcript that sure AI can write. I want to just kind of be done with it. And so that's sort of the set it and forget it model for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to know more about that. Even just down to like, obviously, you're using your own video content. So it's going to sound like you a little bit. But what happens if, for example, you're someone like me who's very conversational in their videos, but in their writing, they're a little bit more professional? Like, can we set the way that this actually writes? Or how does it work in terms of that sort of way?
For sure. You asked the right question. And I think this is particularly important because AI can sometimes, as you all probably know, go totally off the radar when it comes to trying to write in your voice. So, the more specific you are in teaching your AI behind the scenes how to write and sound like you, the better. And so, inside of Write Blogger, we have a bunch of different settings and permissions that we have set up and we train inside your project. And so at the project level inside of RightBlogger, this is where all of our customization stuff happens. And you can see that you can run multiple projects based on the website that you're operating. This is great for people who run multiple websites or have, say, a marketing agency and they manage content for a bunch of clients. You can train your AI behind the scenes to write in a very particular, specific set of ways at the project level. And so, an example of what that looks like here for my RyRob blog, we've got a tone, and this is called my tone inside Right Blogger, where you come over here. I know we're jumping around a bit. You come over here to the my tone section, and you upload samples of your own writing. You upload videos you've made, and you get to create a specific tone that will learn to write like you. And you can always make edits to this type of stuff. We've got readability and humanization built in behind the scenes here too to just help make this sound even more like you. But this is a really core feature that inside everything I'm making in Right Blogger, I'm making sure that I'm tying my tone here. You can see this friendly and engaging dialogue for ryrob.com here associated with it. So this is kind of how at scale we help make sure that all of your content has guardrails on it.
Yeah. I love this. This is amazing. Thank you. Let's
Yeah.
even go back one step before that to like, obviously, you said you're posting a couple of videos a week. How are you knowing what to post and how are you posting 2 or 3 times a week? And then that's obviously automatically converting. Is that also creating like going out automatically to places like Substack?
Yes, we have a lot of automation behind the scenes right now. And actually, as of the recording of our session right here, so for everyone watching live, our Substack integration should be live next week. And so we're adding a lot of integrations right now behind the scenes where you can push content straight to other platforms. Your email newsletter platforms, the Kits and MailChimps of the world, the Substacks where you manage a community-based newsletter, right? So we're adding a lot of integrations right now. And the cool thing about like how all of this functions is that it's pretty simple to just set up your integration and then let it run. But yeah, when it comes to topic selection, I really recommend a couple of things. I love hearing questions from my readers, from my audience in the comments of videos, on comments of blog posts, replies to my email newsletter. That's kind of the like, let's say, richest gold out there as far as like topics that I prioritize for videos because when a real person asks, there's a guaranteed audience for the video. Chances are other people have it too. And so the second source that I really like using the most these days is something like Reddit. Sometimes Quora is great for this too, but spend some time surfing subreddits in your niche. See what types of questions people are asking. Like, what are those consistent themes, problems, challenges that are bubbling up to the surface frequently enough? And chances are a lot of people have those questions if topics are consistently getting upvotes. I think, the traditional answer to this question used to be keyword research, and doing keyword research is still a useful activity to do, but I like to really tie the content choices I make to what a real person is asking for somewhere.
Goodness, I love this. That's a pro tip, guys. I love this so much. Thank you for sharing that. So essentially, you're just finding out what people actually want to know, and then you're just uploading and filming a video a couple of times a week. What's your kind of flow with that? Like, is it you just schedule or do 3 videos in one hit and then just do one every second day, or how are you doing that process?
Oh, I love this, getting into the weeds. Okay, so what my actual process looks like these days is I try and reserve my Mondays and Fridays to just be video days. Like having the space of like a half day or even a full day to really just get into my element and into my zone and make videos is what I really prefer. Now, sometimes that meets the reality of having a busy schedule, a lot of different things going on in life, right? And so that's not always what happens, but that's what my dream weeks look like. And we have a team of video editors who help me with my content now that we've reached like a certain stage with this. So I'm not editing my videos myself. I get to literally be focused on the topic selection, the planning and structure of a video, right? And so figuring out, okay, am I teaching a process here? What does that process need to look like? I'll pull up whichever tools I'm using or process I'm teaching and I'll do a dry run before I even record of making sure that I'm dialing in what exactly it is I'm showing and teaching about and that I do know how to do it in the first place. That's very important. Anything you're teaching online, make sure it's core to what your skill set and experience is. And so once I've done that dry run, I'll film it. I typically use the tool called Screen Studio to record most of my content. Free plug for Screen Studio because it's seriously so amazing. It records your screen, it records an additional camera, it can record multiple cameras if you want, and it also does like really snappy auto edits for you. And so my editors can take this Screen Studio file, which does some zooming and panning and nice effects to it. And it helps save them time during the editing process too. That's if I'm recommending any tools here, that's like the top one. I use it pretty much every day. And once a piece of content's been filmed and uploaded, it goes to my editors. And then we use RightBlogger's tools to do things like write the video description. There's purpose-built tools inside RightBlogger for everything I do. So There's a video description generator tool that connects to your YouTube link and it writes your titles and descriptions and social posts for you based on the content of that video. So everything in my process these days is like hardcore designed around saving myself time and putting more time into the places that only I can do the thing, which is the planning and the shooting of content.
Yeah. I love this. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I do really, really want to see your workflow, but just quickly before we go to that, how long are you spending on videos? Like, are you kind of finding that an optimal video length is, say, 10 to 15 minutes for YouTube, and then you're just doing that a couple of times? Like, you're doing 2 to 3 of those a week?
Yeah, most of my YouTube videos end up being in the 10 to maybe 20 on the super high end range of edited down final file size. But in order to get a 10 to 15-minute video, that's a 30 to 40-minute raw file recording for me, usually. And so there's a lot of stuff that gets cut, trimmed, where I do multiple takes or I run out of breath or lose my train of thought or just go down a rabbit hole that in the review process we decide, yeah, that didn't need to be in the video after all. And so editing time, usually less than half, somewhere between a third and a half of what a full recording looks like, ends up making it into the full videos. And yeah, that's what I'm finding is kind of the sweet spot. It really length of videos on YouTube in particular, like what the ideal length is, can depend quite a lot on what your niche is. And I'm usually teaching pretty tactical marketing, SEO, blogging, AI stuff. And so when I'm showing a process, something that's like a 30+ minute video, like I really start to see a drop off. A lot of people start to bounce if the video is too long or don't click on it in the first place. And so I think the longer your video, the more time needs to be spent in editing for storytelling, like retention. It can't just be super go with the flowy. You need to really structure out how you're going to keep someone's interest for more than that, 10 to 15-minute range. That's what I'm finding my sweet spot to be.
I love this. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing all those insights. Can I put you in on the spot and ask you to walk us through the process of what happens when somebody does upload a video to RightBlogger? Do we upload the transcript, the video link, and what happens from there?
Yeah, this is the good stuff. We love live demos too because you're never sure how it's gonna go. So I'll take an example here from my YouTube channel. This is a video that I don't believe the post has been sent to my site yet. It's kind of a breakdown of how Monday.com has like seen their traffic erode and their market cap along with it. So I did a really fun recap on that one. Now, when I'm ready to rock and roll with a new video, I will typically, if I want to make it happen super fast, right this minute, I don't want it to wait for my automation planner to hit it tomorrow because this runs daily. It would hit it tomorrow if I just published this video today. But let's say I wanted it to go right now. Here's what the manual process looks like. I'd come to the video to blog tool, which they're all accessible here inside RightBlogger. I'd paste in the link right here. I'd toggle on some options. I've got images that I want included. I want external links included because we know that's good for SEO purposes. If this had a really clear target keyword phrase for the video, I'd plug that in right here too. That's going to serve as like the SEO optimization foundation. I'll select my length. We'll go with a shorter one for the sake of this live demo so we don't spend too much time. Internal links, it's going to link to more content that's related when I'm talking about stuff over on my blog. Target audience, we could specify. And then additional instructions. As many of you watching know, the more specific you are to any AI tool, whether you're talking about ChatGPT or something that's purpose built, even like RightBlogger, the more prescriptive and specific you are in what you want the tool to do, the better. And so all of this stuff here and the additional instructions you'll notice was already here. That's because under my project settings for this particular project in RightBlogger, I have all of this stuff added every single time. And so let's hit generate. Let's get this thing started. And we'll talk a little bit more as it keeps going. But what's going on behind the scenes here is that our tool is going out. It's scraping this YouTube link you put in. It's pulling the transcript. It's understanding what exactly an SEO optimized post needs to look like on this subject. And so from here, it's going to start dropping in your content based on that actual video. And it's combining the transcript, the instructions, everything from here, everything that RightBlogger also knows about my project for my blog and takes in that specified my tone, everything else that is from my website that RightBlogger knows. And so it's packaging together every time you do something or every time an automation runs, it's packaging together a crazy amount of information about you, your site, your voice, your style. And that's what I like most. Like, that's one of the biggest advantages of using a purpose built tool because when you're just interfacing with something like Chat or Claude or Gemini, you're getting like a one off drop in the bucket thing. And you can build custom GPTs, do things like this inside those chat style platforms. But ultimately, a tool that kind of templatizes everything and uses all of your information and knowledge every single time, like, it saves me crazy time.
Absolutely, it would save crazy amount of time. I'm so excited about this. What is this gonna end up showing us? Like, is it gonna give us, like, a Facebook post, one article? Like, what's it gonna give us when it's finished? I'm too excited to wait.
It's gonna I know it's taking so long right now, which is hilarious. Of course, as a live demo, it's gonna take the longest. But yeah, this is gonna generate our full blog post for us, already pre-optimized for SEO and AI platforms. And it's also gonna have a chat option. So with any creation inside of RightBlogger, you can chat against it as if you would with something like ChatGPT, right? And so when you're chatting against a piece of content, you can just ask it, hey, write me my Instagram caption for this, write me my LinkedIn post for this. And it's going to do that based on everything it knows about you inside of your account, too.
Wow, amazing. This is exciting. I love
Yeah, it's just
how,
super
like
fun. Like, I
yeah,
use this tool every day in my process now.
it's super cool. Ooh, here we get to
Here we
see
go.
it.
Finally.
And it
Cool. And
automatically
so,
puts that link in for your video as well.
exactly. It nailed the video. It got this chart the right numbers too that I mentioned in the video. I talked about
Mhm.
1.5 and 750. Um, it's got internal links. It's got images that match the style of my website. There's nice like header elements too. Ooh, this is a good graphic.
I
Yeah,
love this. It
this is a
literally looks
nice
like
one.
you spent hours on it.
I know, not bad at all. Like, and I do a lot of work in ChatGPT too. Don't get me wrong, but when I compare something like this to what Chat can do, even with super complex prompts, this is seriously like it's so much better. It's kind of ridiculous. And so, in just one click, you can send this to any of your connected websites that you have in RightBlogger. And so, it'll just automatically send this as a draft to any of my sites. You can share the link with other people too if you collaborate with other people. You can copy it, you can download it as a Word doc. A lot of options here. But to your question earlier, I want to chat with this piece of content because this is a super fun thing that I do on everything I make. So I'll say, write my LinkedIn post for this. I'll hit send. And now the AI is taking that article we just generated and it's going to write a LinkedIn post in my voice based on like the style of writing I use. And so, yeah, here
Does
we
the
go.
AI This is super cool. Does the AI know optimal lengths of how long, like, a blog post should be and a LinkedIn post and Facebook post and that sort of thing, or do you need to set parameters around the length?
It takes everything that we've trained it on, and so, the one of the big pros I would say of using a tool like RightBlogger is that I've been blogging for 15 years. I've run content teams. I reach 1 million people a month across the sites that I own. And so, like, we have built my brain as much as possible into the standard settings of RightBlogger. And then from there, you can change things around however you see fit. And so things like article length, you can switch things up. But basically, we're giving our recommendations as all the default settings. And so, something like 1600 words, that's pretty much the sweet spot these days. Hyper long form content, 5K words or more used to be the thing. That's no longer working very well. And so we typically recommend articles of, say, 1,000 to maybe 2,000 words on the like high end these days as what we see performing best. And all of our automation tools will choose stuff in that range.
Yeah. I love this. Thank you. How would it work if someone's already got a YouTube channel, but they haven't been turning it into blog posts? Would they be able to enter it into obviously Right Blogger and have it schedule in a way that it's not going to just be 50 episodes in 1 week from their past?
Yes, exactly. Like when you're setting up an automation, I'll just kind of walk you through the super quick version of it. You would set up the YouTube automation and you would grab your YouTube channel URL. You'd come over to the automation planner. You drop in the links there. You can add additional instructions for the content generation if you'd like, because as we said, best to really specify what you want AI to do. Toggle some settings. And on the next screen, this is where you'll want to really dial things in based on your preferences. So, frequency that you want this automation to run. I'm going to usually leave it as something like daily. If you want it to run more than one time a day, if you have crazy amounts of content, you can. That starts to get into bonkers mode pretty quickly. And then what you're asking about is under the guardrails tab. And so if you wanted to publish only on selected weekdays, let's say only on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you could toggle that customization and then just create automation, make sure you're publishing it to the right site you've got connected, and it's going to go.
Love this. Thank you. And also, back to what we were talking about before with your
Yeah.
LinkedIn post, just so we know your exact workflow. Are you doing a different post for, say, LinkedIn, a different post for Facebook, a different post for Threads, a different post for X? Like, are you breaking all that up into individual platforms?
Yes. I will typically publish pretty much the same thing on LinkedIn as what I publish on X. I treat those 2 very similarly, because long-ish form, let's say, posts of a few hundred words are pretty acceptable, tend to get shared. If you have some emojis in there, like one line at a time style writing, that stuff tends to get rewarded pretty well on both those platforms. So I'll pretty much always use that same content from LinkedIn to X. And then something that works really well on these platforms too is sharing a short-ish video. And so I have my video editor make a relatively short clip, still in this, landscape format style video, but I'll have her make a clip that's about a minute long, typically just my introduction to any video that I can share along with my post on LinkedIn. And sometimes I post with the video, sometimes I post without. I haven't been able to really figure out every time I publish this way, it always performs better. Like it's kind of a scattershot thing. I think most of the social platforms these days are a numbers game, and just being consistent, showing people that you are here often, you engage, you reply to comments. That's what I think is the best use of time on social.
Yeah. I love this. Thank you. Another question with YouTube. If you're posting shorts on YouTube, is Right Blogger going to pick up on those shorts and do the same process with them?
Yes, for sure. Under the automation settings, you'll just want to turn on the normal plus shorts option. And so now it will run your shorts as well. And I do recommend that because shorts content is like the most drop in a buckety style content out there these days. And to see it disappear after its half-life expires in 24 hours or whatever is just so sad to me because so many creators do shorts regularly and maybe you drop one a day, but to not get the text version of that content over to your website where it also works for you and trains the search engine algorithms and the AI platforms on who you are and how you help people, that's such a missed opportunity.
Okay, that's super interesting. So you're taking your shorts, and just getting like it's obviously RightBlogger is getting the transcript, and then you're actually turning that into another blog piece, even though it's under 2 minutes, sort of thing.
Exactly. Because even though it's under 2 minutes, it's still usually at least a few hundred words of content. And even if that source material, the transcript, isn't super lengthy itself, it is something that AI can work with to actually do a better job of creating an SEO optimized post. And so even if like Right Blogger has only 100 words that are yours to work with, it will expand on that. It will optimize your post and make sure that it is the correct length in order to like serve some sort of purpose for your site.
Okay, so just to confirm that, say I made 2 YouTube videos that were 10 minutes each and then did 7 shorts a week, you're saying that it's going to turn out roughly 9 actual functional blog pieces.
Exactly. And you would just want to make sure that your automation settings are set up to handle that type of capacity,
Mm.
so that you could run up to once a day, or you could set up guardrails on, which days of the week to publish and such. So set the settings how you want them, and then you can like let it go. And I do recommend always like checking out your content. Like I'll let stuff run and publish automatically on my sites now. Now that I have spent a lot of time with the tools, I know what's predictable about it. I've had back and forths where I've seen stuff get published and I've been like, oh, I don't really like that. Let me go adjust my prompt so that all of the content moving forward is working with that style change or the change to what the images look like. And so I will give the caveat of all things with AI, play with it, see what it gives you, make tweaks. Like it is a back and forth iterative process, but once you've like dialed that in, then you're pretty set.
Cool. That's very cool. Yeah, thank you. Love this. What is your so how many pieces of blogs or how many pieces of content are you putting out a day or even a week if that's easier? Like obviously you're posting to the YouTube channel and then are you doing the shorts as well? Like what sort of capacity are we talking that it can handle?
I'm typically doing around 5 a week. I personally start to break down at trying to make more videos than that. And so to kind of like meet that demand, I publish a keyword-based automation on my sites each week too. And like I think my hiking blog is a really good example of that because I'm running multiple businesses, multiple blogs. And so I have this hiking site where I love to like do hikes, film them, publish content based on my hikes when I go. But I also want this site to get more traffic and more readers, and so I have automations from RightBlogger running on my hiking blog to where it takes a topic, a keyword phrase that Right Blogger goes out and researches and decides on and publishes on my behalf with SEO optimized content that's got tables, headers, images, internal links, external links, like all of the SEO best practices are dialed in. And this content is ranking. It's kind of crazy. Like it's doing it on autopilot. And so I have kind of a combination of keyword automations and the YouTube video automations that sort of keep me stocked up at publishing those about 5 a week, I would say. Um,
Yeah.
on my calendar, you can see it sends content on weekends, but I send stuff to my blog as a draft so that I go in, I review, and I make sure before it goes live.
I love this. Thank you. Would you be able to show us one of these keyword blog processes?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So
Excellent.
setting up a keyword automation, you would always set it up from here, click the automation button. You'll plug in your site so the AI can actually go out and understand the content topics that you cover and what you don't yet cover but should. And I'll show you an example using my really built out automation here of what a complete keyword automation looks like. So I've got my site, I've got some topic choosing instructions here. Focus on topics related to blogging, marketing, SEO, AI, and content strategy. Those are my main pillars. And so I wanted to specifically choose stuff on my pillars, and then additional instructions for the content generation. This is the stuff that's added to the bottom of the prompt essentially for every post it creates. And so I've given specific instructions around the images, around using real time knowledge, around the word count that I wanted to use, around specific SEO and AEO elements like having a key takeaways near the top of your posts, having relevant FAQs near the bottom of each post. And so this is where to like really specify what your content should look like. And then lastly, but not least, auto optimize for SEO. This is super important in RightBlogger. I toggle this on for everything I make. This uses one of our SEO reports every time it's creating content on your behalf. And so it goes out, it understands the SERP for that keyword phrase you're trying to rank for, and it'll make sure your content is pre optimized for it. And then setting up the timeline, guardrails, days of the week you want, how many runs per day if you want to publish weekly, daily, and then finally connecting your site and hitting automate.
Wow. It's just so easy when you do it.
I know. And it seems like kind of a lot, I know, but it is one of those things that, like, hey, if you spend 20 minutes with this, really setting it up, dialing it in, it's something that produces for you over the course of weeks, months, and years to come. And so that's the framing that I always recommend is like setting up a content system that runs even with your hand off the wheel, because life happens all the time, is the way that people are being successful with SEO content in particular today.
Yes, absolutely. No, I love all of this and totally agree with you. And it's one of those things as well where it is very much becoming a numbers game. And if you do try and sit there and write out 1,600 word blog post every single day or 5 days a week, plus filming a video, plus doing 3 to 5 pieces of content on all of the channels, that's it. You've got a full-time job as a content creator, but that's not necessarily focusing on optimizing things to bring in income. So the fact that this is so hands off is amazing.
Even if you're using like ChatGPT or some sort of chat-based tool to help you with creating content, like that's super tiresome. It's really manual, it's clunky, it breaks as you try and scale. And so like this really is the like purpose-built thing that we designed to solve our own problems of how do we take all this gold we're making or the stuff that lives in our heads and then actually put it into the world. So this has been super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so interesting. Also, would love to know, what does this integrate with? So far it's integrating with your website. You said you're building in a Substack integration. Is it integrating with the major social media thing platforms?
We integrate with all of the major CMSs right now, and I'm pretty sure, funny answer, I'm pretty sure by the time everyone is watching with us here today, we will integrate with all the major social media platforms too. And so behind the scenes, we're building out our social integrations to where we can publish automatically for you onto your social accounts. But right now, it's been focused on sending to the major CMSs like the Shopify, Ghost, Wix, Webflow, WordPresses of the world.
Yeah. And then you're just manually getting it to, I mean, I know you've said we're getting it to write the post for
Exactly.
LinkedIn, but you're just manually posting it over to LinkedIn.
Yes. So far, that's what I've been doing, but now that's breaking. As I'm doing more and more of this type of content, it's like, okay, social is the next thing that we want to automate. And so that is coming very soon.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this goes. I'm just loving this because it's one of those things where it is one of now you do have to be on a lot of platforms doing a lot of things. I remember hearing Gary Vee say something about you have to post 400 times a day and not to be late anywhere or missing out. Now he's like, it's in the thousands that he wants you to post. So being able to automate something that lets you kind of make something that goes everywhere, like, is just game changing these days, I think.
Yeah. As long as it sounds, feels like you and is like pulling from what you know, like I can't recommend enough tools that are actually connected to whatever it is your web of knowledge is. And if it's connected to your YouTube channel, to your social channels, to your blog where you've got content you've written or had a hand in, that's the like best sources for making sure these tools are creating content that actually looks, feels, and sounds like you.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely not about putting out just random content. Like it's literally about getting your own voice to come through, but just turbocharging it in a way where you can do that more.
Yes. That's the easier said than done thing.
Exactly. Is there anything else we need to note today if we're wanting to become a blogger and put out content?
My biggest piece of advice, really the thing that I just shout from the mountaintops is think video first and real problems people have. There's nothing better than taking the real challenges people are expressing either to you directly or somewhere online where you can see that and starting with the video to answer those queries because as you can see, it's getting a heck of a lot easier to just generate content on autopilot. And so that text-based content, it's becoming a commodity very rapidly, already is. It's so easy to get AI answers to just about anything. And so the premium is placed and will increasingly be placed on real human advice and interactions. And video is the best way to do that. I don't know about you, but anytime you watch an AI generated video, it's pretty clear to me that something just feels a little bit off about it. And so I think even the AI video tools out there will eventually find their lane of being useful for things like B-roll and background footage and little clips here and there. I can't really imagine a stage in which people want to follow fully AI generated influencers for their advice. I think there's going to be a huge premium placed on the human piece of advice out there. And video is a great way to be doing that today.
Yes, absolutely. And I totally agree with everything you've said in the whole session, to be honest, because I definitely believe once you make that piece of long form content, you can use it in so many ways. But with the way the world is going at the moment, that human connection is actually what people are wanting. So by having that reminder from you to come back and the importance of having that connection via you being a human and sharing on YouTube, I just think that's going to become more and more important as we see everything's evolving, and you can make an AI clone in 5 minutes, but it just doesn't connect the same. So I 100% agree with all of this. And it has been amazing to have you here. Where can people find you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I am super accessible on the internet. If you want to find me, LinkedIn is where I spend most of my time these days. I'm just Ryan Robinson on LinkedIn, RyRob on Instagram. My blog is ryrob.com, which is kind of my home base on the internet. And RightBlogger, RIGHT blogger.com is the tools we built and showed off here in our session today. Please come on down, take them for a free spin. Even when you make your account, you'll get an email that welcomes you from me and hit reply to that email. I'm a real person. I'm going to see it and I'll hook you up with something special.
Yay! Thank you so much, Ryan. It has been amazing having you here.
Thank you for having me.